So I promised you a editing breakdown on this reel that I made, mainly the intro aspect. So let's go through it and break down everything that I did to create this, specifically the text animations and the sound effects and everything that kind of went along with this. This rest of the video is just the tutorial, so I won't really focus on that, but I'll touch on it just a little bit. Anyways, so let's quickly watch the tutorial here, the intro to the tutorial, and then I'll get into it. So let's click this button here to loop it, just so you can see. Here's how you can create this super easy visual hook for your videos in just under 20 seconds. Here's how, yeah, so very simple. This intro is only 5 seconds long, as you can see here. And, you know, the thing about creating an intro like this is you want a lot to happen, but you also want to kind of communicate very quickly and bluntly and easily what you're trying to show them in the remaining aspects of the video. You kind of might notice that obviously I put a lot of effort into this intro, and it kind of seems like I didn't put maybe as much effort into this aspect, but it's not really true. It's just for the tutorial aspect. It needs to be very straightforward and clear, and if there's just a lot going on, you know, it in my opinion, I feel like it kind of takes away just from the raw kind of education that I guess I'm trying to show through the tutorials. But anyways, let's get into it. So in the Instagram reel that I posted on Instagram, I pretty much gave the tutorial on how I did this part. And as you can see here, we have our nested sequence and we have our color map. So if I click into the nested sequence over here, you can see I have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 clips. And these first 2 clips are 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 frames long. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. And then to basically create this like speeding up, like see how it kind of gets like quicker towards the end. Halfway through, I just start cutting it by 1, 2, 3, 4. And then I do 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then the last 2, I just do 1, 2. So it goes 6 frames, 6 frames, 4 frames, 4 frames, 4 frames, 2 frames, 2 frames. And obviously you can create, you can add as many clips as you want in there. You can make them 1 frame. You can make them 2 frames towards the end. You can use more clips, and instead of 6 frames, you can do 4 frames. The world's your oyster. It's just kind of the way you want to do it. As you can see here, I also have some cool, clean little text animations that come down like this. So I did 1 coming down, 1 coming to the left, and then 1 coming up. And when you do text animations like this, you want just some variation. You don't really want everything to come up one way. You can, but it's a little cooler when it comes from different directions. I think it's just more visually appealing. And the reason this text is in the nested sequence is because when I do the zoom out on the nested sequence, the text also zooms out. So anything that you want to zoom out like this, you want to put inside the nested sequence. That's why it's very important. And in terms of the zoom out, if I go to effect controls here, you can see it's literally just a scale 100 to 80. And the only difference is that I slightly eased the start keyframe. That's it. So it comes in a little slow, and then it kind of goes fast towards the end. So when the line goes down like that, that means it's getting slower. The higher the line is, the faster it is. It's coming in slower. And then this is its slowest. Here's how you can. And then this is kind of like the fastest. So it just adds this little bit of like clean movement. Here's how you. Versus if I were to, let's just say, if I just straighten this out here. Here's how you. It's just a little. It's a little static. I don't really know how to say it. It's like a little static, but with a keyframe of it, you might not be able to tell, but just that slight bit of slowness towards the end just kind of adds to it all. So it's very important that you ease in all your keyframes. And the easiest way to do that would just be to right click your keyframe and click ease out or ease in. But obviously if you're just like slightly more advanced, and it's not really an advanced technique, it's pretty easy to learn. You can just kind of like drag these out a bit so that it, you can get a little more control over what happens. And in terms of the sound effects for this specific kind of hook, every single clip change, I just use a click sound effect, so I could solo this and you can hear. Just like that, very simple. And I pretty much exclusively get all my sound effects from Epidemic Sound. And they have a plugin here that you can add to Premiere Pro to like easily drag and drop sound effects. And to be honest, that's mainly the main reason why I use Epidemic Sound is because of this plugin. You can also buy sound effect packs. I have those. But it's not always going to have the exact sound effect you're looking for. And to have a pretty extensive database of all these different sounds that are kind of like organized nicely for you. And I'm not sponsored, by the way. This is just purely what I use. It's pretty good. Previously, I had used like Envato Elements for the sound effects. They were okay. They were pretty decent, but the workflow of getting them into Premiere was kind of annoying. To have something like this is, pretty good. So yeah, just the click sound effects elevated a lot, and you can hear it with the music as well. Here's how you can, with the script. Here's how you. But the click is a very high pitched sound. It's a very high frequency sound on the higher end, and so it's kind of jarring for your ears just by itself. So the idea of this kind of intro is that it gets quicker, obviously. And you're trying, it's so fast. It happens so fast, and specifically for a reel, your goal for a hook is, I'm sure you've heard it a million times, is you want to obviously hook someone in within the first 3 seconds of watching it. So it's very important that you kind of almost like overstimulate them a bit, and so that's where this next sound effect comes in. And if you're wondering what sound effect this is Apple Magic Mouse Double Click. This is from Epidemic Sounds. So it's just an Apple mouse click sound. And then this next one here is a designed riser, also from Epidemic Sound, from their designed section. And you could hear that by itself. It's basically like a reverse cymbal. So it's like if I were to, I guess, reverse this, you could probably hear. It's really just a cymbal being hit. But when it's reversed, and now it creates this like high-pitched, slow kind of riser. And you want it to end right when the clip changes. So with those two together, this is what it sounds like. Pretty good, pretty kind of like builds tension. And with the music and with the script, it sounds pretty good together. Here's how you can But the biggest mistake you can make is if you have a sound effect like this riser, it's not to kind of have some sort of impact when it ends, because it does sound a little wonky by itself. Here's how you can. It just stops like very jarringly, and so you want kind of an impact. So what I did right at the end of this was I added a kind of film shutter click, and this shutter click is specifically because I added this inverse. So let's just hear the shutter click really quick. That's it. I'm just kind of communicating. There was like a little effect there, a little flash, and I'm communicating that through the sound effect. When anything happens in your frame or in your video, you kind of want to incorporate some sort of sound effect into it. That's what really brings the whole thing together. And it doesn't even always have to be literally what's happening. It just has to be something that's like sort of within the same kind of speed that it's coming into. I didn't have to use click sounds for this. I could have used like literally anything. I could have gone to this and clicked user interface, and I could have done this. You know what I mean? Like if I put it together and it kind of sounded cool, I could have done that. There's no like right or wrong way. It's just what you can layer, right? Like if I layered this on top of the clicks, that might sound cool. So it's just about finding sound effects you like to use, and then you obviously can reuse them again and again, and it just makes like the whole process a lot easier. For this invert effect, I also put it in the Instagram tutorial that I made. Check that out on my Instagram, Zori Media or Corey.santos8 on Instagram to see kind of like this, what I said over here, but I guess I'll show you now. It's literally just a adjustment layer, which is 1, 2, 3, 4 frames long, 4 frames long, and then I put a invert filter. Literally just search invert, and you'll see right here, image control, invert, drag it onto your adjustment layer, and just like that, you get this cool effect. And basically how invert works is anything that's dark, it kind of makes it like white. Anything that's like yellow, it kind of comes like this or whatever, and then anything black kind of becomes white. Literally just inverts it opposite to its color, as you can see. And you know, it just creates this cool like kind of little quick flash, and it happens so quick, but it just adds a bit something to it. And also here I have this mechanical, I don't even know what this is called. What is this? Mechanical transition building up movement. We could listen to it by itself. It's a really cool sound. And you know, with that in here, now you got this. If you put all these together, but it kind of sounds weird right now, but that's also why I added this other sound, this kind of beep, this user interface beep. And the reason I added this beep was because this is super easy. I have a flicker on it. So you can see like that flicker. And so that kind of signifies the flicker. And when you put it all together with the script and with the music, you get this. Here's how you can create this. You know what I mean? It just by itself, it could sound weird, but when you layer it all together, it sounds so much better. And you know what? Like, let me show you actually how everything sounds without the sound effects, the whole video without the sound effects, and with the sound effects. And you just tell the difference. So let's just do without the sound effects. Let's turn every sound effect layer off, and let's just keep the music on. So this is all you're going to hear. Here's how you can create this super easy visual hook for your videos in just under 20 seconds. I mean, that's okay. Like, the visuals are fine.
Here's
Nothing changed about the visuals, but it's just so flat. And there's so many creators still that do this where they're like putting together these really cool visuals, but they're just lacking on the sound effects. And I made that same mistake. I was focusing so much on these visuals, and I'm like, why aren't my videos, like, why don't they feel elevated? You know what I mean? Like, why is there something that feels wrong about this? Like, it just doesn't have that extra sauce, that like oomph that I was getting when I was watching other creators' videos. And it's when I kind of took it, I'm like, I'm not doing much with my sound effects. Like, I'll put like a little flash sound in there here or there, but you know, I wasn't doing anything crazy. I wasn't doing anything like this. And then I started incorporating way more sound effects in my videos, and I still have a long way to go. I'm not that great when it comes to layering sound effects, but the more you practice and the more you do it, and the more you try to get creative with it and use different sounds that you might not have previously thought would really work, is when you get like the best results. So anyways, let's watch this without the script and without the music and just the sound effects. And we're going to see the difference that this makes. Like that. It's pretty cool. I probably could have added more in there, to be honest, but like, it's a pretty quick intro, and I felt like that was pretty good for what it was. And so obviously when it all comes together, let's just quickly hear everything at once.
Here's how you can create this super easy visual hook for your videos in just under 20 seconds.
Yeah, so that's, when it comes down to the sound effects, that's kind of what I did. And in terms of the sound effects, I don't really do too much to them. You can see I changed the dB level of them. Just some sound effects are just high, higher volume wise than others. They don't really punch through as much. So a lot of them, that seemed a little too overbearing. I kind of changed it to -5 dB decibels. Some I didn't touch too much. Like this is like -0.5. I think that was just an accident, to be honest with you. This one I didn't touch. This one is -15 dB. This one right here is just a deep whoosh. I really like this one. This is a really good one. It's just this like subtle, deep whoosh sound that like just adds a bit of this like dynamic kind of weight to it, I guess you could say. I feel like I'm throwing a lot of verbal kind of diarrhea out there, but like that's kind of how you can like showcase it, right? And I like to use this a lot, and I like to use this when there's like subtle movements. It just creates something nice in the background. When it like some whoosh sounds are very like just too much, I feel like if I go to the whoosh sounds here in Epidemic Sounds, it doesn't want to work. Like that's just like it's kind of super intense, whereas this one is just a lot more calm. And it's not like it necessarily lines up with anything, but there's multiple words coming in, and it's kind of just doing it for all of them. This sound effect right here is just another user interface sound. This one is alert text messages, probably like for an Android phone or something. And I like this one too. And this is kind of like an Apple text preset, and I'll go through how I made all the text presets in this. But because obviously this is like coming up letter by letter, it's kind of cool to have something that like is kind of like elongated, like right? Because that's kind of how like the words are coming in. And then it kind of like fades out at the end. And then I did the same exact click sound as I did over here, just over here for your videos. Just literally lined it up with the way the text was coming. So same exact thing, using the same sound effects, nothing crazy, and then it's just about putting them in the right place. Very simple stuff. And then let me get through some of the other visual stuff before we get into the text, because the text is kind of like, I feel like the big one that brings everything together. This right here looks pretty kind of weird, but like if you watch this by itself,
For your videos and just
you can see
your videos and just
it's so quick. This effect is literally how many frames? 1, 2. It's 2 frames long.
and
This is I filmed multiple takes of this intro you see here. And because I had multiple takes, the first part of one of my takes was really good, which was this part. But then the second part kind of felt weird. And so I took a second part and I incorporated it. And without using just a simple flash or something, I decided why not just do this cool effect. So the way I made it was very simple. I took this clip right here, which was the second point, as you can see. And from the start of the line, what I did was I duplicated it. So I would duplicate it, and then I would add a frame hold, and I would just drag it out like this, and I would make it 2 frames. Then what I did is I would click the clip. Let me just delete that. I would take this clip and I would click opacity right here. Okay, this is in Premiere Pro 26. I'm going to give you guys a tutorial on how to do this. And at the bottom toolbar, you see Object Mask Tool. It's going to load, and then you click it, just like that. And you can click that to add the microphone, and you can actually drag to add everything here. It's a bit wonky. You kind of have to do this like a couple times. You know, it's a bit odd. It worked better when I did it the first time. It's not working like the best right now, but you could probably zoom in and just do like that. I think that's what I did. I just zoomed in like this. Although I don't know why it doesn't just let you do it how I was doing before. Object not found. I mean, that's a little stupid, isn't it? Whatever. We don't have to be perfect for this like part of the tutorial, but I just did that. And then I went to this clip right here and I literally just added the invert filter. And there you go.
Videos and just
That's simple.
videos and
It was a little cleaner on this version. The mask was a little cleaner. I mean, it messed up here too. So it's basically the same. And you can see object mask. Didn't do much. Literally just that. Quick and easy. And 2 frames long. Right 2 frames before the next clip hits. So this is this. Remember, this is the frame hold of the first frame. So when it gets into this frame, it's exactly where the clip started. But it's so quick anyways that even if it like is slightly off, it might be slightly off here, to be fair. Yeah, I think it's slightly off here, but it's fine. Like it's so quick, no one's even gonna notice, and it's just kind of cool. And so let's get into the text effects. And this is just a fire whoosh sound effect as well. We could solo this so you can hear for the film burn that I have. This is from a film burn pack that I purchased from Esco TV. Happy editing. So yeah, just simple Epidemic Sound fire whoosh. Just searched it up, got it. You could find all these in Epidemic Sound. And this one right here is just another UI one. This is just kind of like, again, because the 20 seconds comes in, so that's just for that. And then we have this glitchy random sound. And that's more for the numbers specifically. So this is kind of like just for this one, this UI one is kind of just like signify that the number's coming in. And then this one right here, the glitchy one, is because the numbers are increasing, and that's kind of like the two that I put together. And yeah, that's pretty much it for the sound effects. Nothing crazy. Music track at the bottom here. It's this Clima Lindo song. You can hear it. I put all my music tracks, background music tracks, at about -20, anywhere from -25 to -15. But usually I never go -15. That's a little too loud. You don't want your background music to overpower what you're saying, especially if the video is apparent to like what you're saying is the most important factor. The music's just there to like add a bit of enjoyment, I guess, for the viewer. And then this is just the second part of the script. So we could, create a new item and click on color matte. Change it, it's just a script that I recorded on my microphone. So let's get into the text, because the text is really what elevates this. Because if there was no text animations, I don't think it's as enjoyable to watch. I don't think it's as clean. And, it's just, it gives this like cool kind of like premium almost feel to your videos. And it's super easy and it's super effortless. And I'll explain to you why it's also super easy and super effortless. Let's go into this first one though, from the intro. This one.
Here's how you can create this super easy visual hook for your videos in just under 20 seconds.
Create a new item and click on color matte.
Here's how you can create this super easy visual hook
here. That's nice. Anyways. So let's take a look at this one. How to make this. So basically, these are just transform effects. So literally just search up transform. And you'll see it over here under transform. Just transform. And the reason people use transform is because it provides just a little more control over the motion sliders, as well as you can add a shutter angle, which provides a bit of motion blur in Premiere. So it's transform layer with 180 shutter angle. And then I just keyframe the position and opacity. And you can see the opacity is keyframed from 0 to 100. And it's eased out a bit. So it starts off a little low and then it gradually just increases. You can see like the slight S-curve there. You can see the slight S-curve there. And, here for the position is the part, though, that you have to get right. Because the position keyframes need to be eased. As you can see, they are. So it comes in slow. It comes in kind of quick, and then it comes out slowly and gradually. See, it comes out quick, and then it slowly gets to that point where it settles in. That is the most important factor to making these text animations feel clean. And that's basically what these three are. It's just a down to up to down, right to left, and down to up. And it's all just keyframed the same way. Some of the keyframes are slightly different because this one's a kind of a quicker one, as you can see here. But the concept is exactly the same. Like the concept's exactly the same. And basically what I did for this was I have a text preset animation pack. Shameless plug, but I think it's awesome for Premiere. I've used this for countless clients that I've edited for. I use it on almost all my videos. It's amazing. For me personally, at least, this is my first time putting it out to the public, and I've been using it for the past 6 months. So, I love it. And if I had, bought it for myself, I would have got great value from it. But I'll show you what I mean. So if I put some text here and I put test, and I use one of the fonts that are that I recommend in this font pack. Some free sauce here. This is an amazing font. Let's just do that, and let's bring this up here. If I go to Effect Controls and I add this transform, what a lot of people do is they start it off. First of all, pay attention to your anchor point. Your anchor point wants to be in the middle of your text. They'll start it off high. They'll start it off high like this. And then they'll go down a couple frames. And then we could just reset it. And then we can do the same for this at the start of the clip, keyframe the opacity, and then keyframe it to 100 right there. That just looks horrible. You know what I mean? It comes down very linearly. It stops super abruptly. It's not this. Here's how you know what I mean? See the difference between how this text comes in here. It comes in kind of slow. That's what you want. So like I said, you would, first of all, click this down button here. And you would kind of want to keyframe just that opacity just a bit. And then for the position, you want to ease it in as well. Just a little bit. So something like that. You know what I mean? Something like that. Pretty good. And that's pretty much how you can kind of make the same thing. For my text preset pack, though, what I did was I created over 25 different text in and out animations, and I even added in, different stylistic effects for the text. So, for example, if I just turn that off, you have the difference effect that kind of a lot of people use. I could probably show it here a little better. You can see that kind of like cool kind of effect right there. Got some text glow. You can adjust the text glow by just deleting these right there. So you get better
Your videos in just under 20 seconds.
you get stronger or, you know, less strong glow. And just a ton of in and out effects that are automatically set for the length of your clip. So, you know, it always does it at the start of your clip. You see slide and left.
This super easy visual hook for your video.
A laggy slide and left right there. We have the same thing for, you know, going down.
Super easy visual hook.
Just like that. You know, we have going down like longer.
This super easy visual hook for your
that comes in like super far up.
Super easy visual hook for your
just like that. And, you know, it does the same for every direction.
Super easy
basically.
visual hook for your video.
And I made 2 slide in and slide outs because vertical, there's so much length. So that was kind of the point of it. And obviously, you know, you can, you know, with knowledge, you can do these things yourself. But to have them all in the pack like that you just quickly drag in. And it's the same thing for the outs as well. You know, there's flicker ins, so the text can flicker in, and then there's flicker outs, so
for
the
your
text
videos
will flicker out at the end. It's like text pop outs in here, so the text just pops out like that.
Super easy visual hook for
just have to make sure that the anchor
super
point is
easy
set to
visual hook.
the middle of your clip. And there's slow zoom outs, so if you want the
Super
text to
easy
slow
visual
zoom
hook
out,
for your
like that. I would recommend adding it first to your clip and then nesting your clip and adding other effects. So that's kind of the other thing you could do is you can like add 2 pieces of text together. So for example, if I want
Super
this
easy
one to slide in down, and then I want another piece to, you know, slide in up like that. And then what I would do is I would then nest these 2 together into one.
Super easy visual hook for your
And then I would do like a slide out right on this nested clip. So then they both slide out right. Just like that. You know what I mean?
super easy visual hook for your videos
And that's how you stack these effects together. And that's literally every single text in this video that you're seeing is used with you know the text presets that I created, and they're all transforms. They're all within Premiere. The only ones that aren't within Premiere are these 2 right here, which is this visual hook one and this timer one. So I'll quickly show you guys what I did for those ones. So what I did was I went into the range selector and I keyframed the offset at -100, and you can see it goes all the way to 100 towards the end. Nothing else changed, just the range selector with the offset keyframed, and with these settings. These are the settings that I have here on ramp up, ease high on 0, and just the offsets keyframed. And in terms of the number increase, this just involves a couple of effects on the numbers. I have a deep glow, and I also, well, I thought I added noise, but maybe not. But this is literally just deep glow, and what I did was I added a slider control effect to this. And then I pick whip this to the source text. So I went to the slider control, took this, dragged it to the source text, and then I added this expression, math.round effect slider control slider. And basically whatever you change the slider to is a number that you get. Makes it a nice whole number. And you just keyframe it from 0 to whatever number on the slider you want, and it just goes like this. And then again, for these texts, where you see it just kind of come in like this, sliding down from my text preset pack, just transform layer, Same thing for this one right here, which is the under slides in left to right. I went ahead and put the difference effect on it. You can see how it kind of looks like that there. And then same thing there. I just put brackets with seconds, slides down. Everything's coming in like a different direction. All comes together. Put a little film burn. And there you go. That's how you make an intro like this, and it's just 5 seconds long.
Here's how you can create this super easy visual hook for your videos in just under 20 seconds.